should.
I'll just see what anyone can call me sitting at my committee.
Good. Very good.
All right, it is March 21st at 5:45 PM. We're going to call this Finance Committee meeting to order. Present are council members Barker, Hauser, Marmee. Harris will be sitting in for Hondinger, and Ryan is going to be sitting in for Lang. Yeah. Okay. So first item, I just want to bring everybody up to date. The unappropriated balance of the general fund stands at $485,744. The budget stabilization fund stands at $1,053,837. First item on the agenda is a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor of the city of Newark to apply for financial support for the state of Ohio 2022 Nature Works Grant.
This is the legislation allowing us to apply. We don't know the funding level yet from ODNR, but we're looking at 75% of awarded state share, 25% local share. Looking at doing a shelter house and a restroom enclosure at Reddington Resort.
I'll second.
Motion by Barker, second by Hauser. Any questions and or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. A motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a request for appropriation amount of $5,000.
Good evening. We have a firefighter who has tendered his resignation, and this will be his payout.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Barker, second by Ryan. Any questions and or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a request for appropriation in the amount of $41,774.58.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The first item, $26,274. That's a reimbursement from an insurance company. We had a car that hit the side of Cedar Hill Cemetery. The next is $500. It's a grant that we got to put up some bluebird boxes at various parks to attract more bluebirds into the parks. And then the third one is money we had received from Lincoln County Veteran Services to do the concrete work. This is a different veteran section at Cedar Hill Cemetery. It's right behind the building we have up there, the vacation home services.
Motion by Barker, second by Hauser. Any questions and or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. The motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a request for appropriation amount of $60,000.
Yes, you'll see in the Finance Committee request form that it talks about the drainage work at Pathways and other miscellaneous drainage projects. Let me explain this a little bit. If you go up Bryn Mawr Drive, on the left-hand side is Pathways of Lincoln County. Some past administrations decided to take in the hillside right behind Pathways. Well, when it rains real hard. Their basement gets flooded with mud that comes off a part of the hill that we own. So Brian Moorhead and myself have spent about a year and a half working with Pathways. We hired Jim Roberts. He He's done his analysis. The total project cost is about $180,000, of which Pathways is paying $90,000 of those dollars for an agreement that we negotiated. Out of the 60, I'm going to use 45. I'm taking the other 45 from stormwater utility, which leaves me 15,000 here for a couple various stormwater drainage issues that we have. So tonight I'm asking for $60,000.
Motion by Barker, second by Ryan. Any questions and or comments? I have one. Any long-term solution to just getting rid of that property or doing anything with it? If it's useless, it's useless.
Well, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't know who would want to take it. I'm not
Okay.
so sure why the city did take it.
okay,
If it would have been brought to me, I would have declined it,
right,
but it's ours.
okay,
And it's our hillside. Hopefully what we've got now is a fix. And we're lucky enough to have Pathways that is a good partner in this. But I don't find this property to have any greater good to the city.
would it do any good for Pathways?
That probably run from. Just as they are the mud that rolls in their basement.
Right.
But
That's why we don't want it.
But they've been a good community partner.
Right,
They have been really good to deal with, and they do a lot of good in the community.
right, oh, I agree. Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, this finance committee meeting stands adjourned. I believe up next is service.
Okay, I'd like to call the service committee meeting to order. And this is myself, Barker, Blind, Ludison for Heidinger, and then Ryan is in for Rash. First on the agenda is Resolution 22-26, a resolution approving and ratifying an update on soil waste management plan.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Bright, and I'm the new stormwater coordinator for the city. And when I got that job, the mayor appointed me as the municipal representative for the solid waste district, which is Coshocton, Licking, Perry, and Fairfield. So with that, I kind of jumped in the middle of it when they were starting this new plan. So they have a new plan that got approved last month, and it's here if you want to read it. And with the new plan that got approved, it gets submitted to EPA along with our resolution from this municipality and all the county commissioners in the 4 counties. And if we approve it, then it gets submitted and then it gets approved with EPA. So basically, it's an EPA mandate that each county has to be part of a solid waste district to plan for how you're going to dispose of your solid waste and recycling. So that's what this is about. There really weren't many changes with this new plan, from what I'm told, because I didn't really read it or read the old plan to compare the two. So from what I'm told, it's not going to change much what we do in Licking County. If you take your waste out of the district, that's what's going to change, and we don't. All right.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Barker, do I have a second?
Yeah.
Have questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same side. Passes 5-0. Thank you. Next up is resolution 22-27, resolution authorized director of public service to enter into the Licking County government aggregate program, participating agreement with the Licking County Board of Commissioners and various municipalities and or townships located within Licking County, Ohio for the city of Newark, Licking County, declaring an emergency.
Jeff, I think you just covered. As you know, we've got aggregation that's going to be on the ballot. This is an agreement with your approval that allows me to get an aggregation agreement with the county.
Motion.
Second.
I gotta abstain from this because my company may be involved with this. So, motion by Barker. Second by Mark. Brutus. All in favor, say aye. Well, questions, go ahead.
I wouldn't be doing Mr. Rath justice if I didn't ask why the emergency on this one, or the ballot initiative, is that, I'm guessing.
There was a time limit that the insurance wanted it back to start getting.
Okay. Thank you. Voice changed.
It did change. Got better looking too.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, and I've got to abstain. So I believe that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, next up is safety.
Call the safety committee to order. Present are council members, myself, Rapidas, Mr. Barker, Mr. Line, Mr. Hauser, and Mr. Harris, sitting in for Mr. Rath this evening. We're going to consider ordinance 22-14, amends chapter 475 of the codified ordinances of the city of Newark, Ohio, relative to bicycles within portions of the municipal corporation. And we have our safety director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So what we're presenting tonight is legislation to regulate the operation of bicycles, skateboards, and other toy vehicles upon the sidewalks throughout the city, but specifically within the Dora downtown district. Over the years, the police department's had a lot of complaints from both business owners and citizens about people riding bicycles recklessly on the sidewalks in the downtown area. And we never really had a means to enforce anything. So with the advent of the Dora, we thought this was the perfect time to address this issue. So we approached our honorable law director, and with her help, and as a collaborative effort between her office, my office, and the police department, we've come up with this legislation for your consideration. So if you have any questions, I would be willing to answer them.
So this is for bicycles, skateboards. How about motorized vehicles like go-karts, mini bikes, anything like that?
Well, this wouldn't address those specific, they would be addressed under other ordinances in the city.
Similar question, like an electric bike, that's kind of a big comment, like it's very similar to like a bicycle. Does that fall under this?
I would consider that it does. That would be my opinion on
And motorized bicycles the same?
it. Correct. Yeah.
Thank you.
And to follow on this is really just if it's a reckless.
No, this is
all of it.
this prohibits any operation in within the Dora specifically. It kind of carves things out as you go farther out in the city. So like in some areas, anybody 12 and under is exempt from that requirement because we don't want kids riding bicycles out in the street. So this is mainly focused within the Dora, the downtown.
Okay, so my follow-up to that would be if the city were at any time to institute they have them in Columbus. We've been approached about them before.
Scooters.
The scooter, electric
There's
scooter.
electric scooters that are, provided by a company and people have to rent them to provide transportation. If at any point the city would enter into some type of arrangement with those, how is that handled in this?
That would probably be a question best directed for our law. Sorry.
No, that's okay. No, I think that would be something that we would have to carve out on that agreement that they're allowed. Now, the question is, one of the problems that they've been having is when people are out walking on the sidewalks that's encouraged during Dora, is these people zooming in between and causing incidents among the people walking around. So is that also gonna be a problem with the scooters? And then we would have to address that. Do we wanna put an exemption in the legislation because of our contract, or should they also be required? Because there is a section in here that says that if you're not allowed on the street for safety purposes, that you have to give the right of way to pedestrians and give them warning when passing. So I mean, that could also apply to the scooters as
Right.
well.
So is this all year round or just one of the?
Year round.
Okay, correct. So, okay, good.
Just asking again, how far out does it go?
Well, it encompasses, the ordinance encompasses the whole city. The
Okay,
prohibition,
double check.
the exclusive prohibition is for the Dora district
Okay,
downtown, which is Locust Street to the north, Walnut Street to the south, First and Fourth Street to the east and west.
Any other questions from the committee? Any questions from the audience? Let's go to the podium, state your name and address, for the record, please.
Stephen Smith, 237 Violet Court, Newark, Ohio. I've only just seen this, looked at it, and I think I basically agree with the thrust of what's being presented here. I am a little leery and disturbed about phrasing bicycles as toy vehicles. I have not been active in the organization for a while, but I am a past officer of Licking County Bicycle Club. And I was very active in that capacity toward promoting the use of bicycles in a vehicular manner, following the rules of traffic. My opinion that referring to them as toy vehicles opens the door to restricting them from use on the roads as well. And I would not like to see that entirely. Bicycles are a valid means of transportation and can integrate with traffic with proper safety training and ordinance and following the ordinances of other traffic rules. I would like the little bit that I just looked at that. I don't have a big problem with the intent of this regulation, but I do wonder about some unintended consequences of this. I would not like to see bicycles that adults are riding on the streets be classified as toy vehicles. Thank you very much.
If I may, the ordinance doesn't define a bicycle as a toy vehicle. It lists bicycles and toy vehicles. So it's not trying to redefine what a bicycle is.
So it separates the two bicycles.
Yeah, it says, I believe it says bicycle, skateboards, and toy vehicles.
like remote control cars.
Well, that would be something different. I don't think that would fall underneath this ordinance.
It says in paragraph A, operate a bicycle, skateboard, tricycle, or other toy vehicle.
Right. So it's not redefining anything. It's just listing a toy vehicle. Vehicle was one of them.
I think it's where
I think it's word.
So I'll defer to our law director on that.
Yeah, it wasn't intended, it's just any other, like we were envisioning, I mean, there's several children's toys that are small bikes that are, I mean, there's even power wheels, things like that. I mean, so we're trying to think of every possible scenario that can come up, and that's why that was added.
Mr. Marty, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. I guess I would just like to see in the ordinance definition of a sidewalk. And the purpose of that is we have pedestrian bridges, we have bike paths, we have all of that we do not want to prohibit bicycles from. So I think we need a pretty clear definition of sidewalk to make sure that we do not include those as prohibited locations. So especially the cross bridges, I mean, they are sidewalks, basically. So if we could just clearly define that, so that we do not include those. I appreciate it.
Any other questions from the committee? Questions from the audience? All those in favor of passing this legislation on the full council vote by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That passes 5-0.
Thank you.
With that, that adjourns this safety committee meeting. Up next is capital improvements.
That's gonna stay.
Sure.
We're gonna call this Capital Improvements Committee meeting to order. Present are council members Labutus, Harris, Marmy, Barker in for Hottinger, and Blind in for Rath. First item on the agenda is a request for appropriation in the amount of $29,500.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We find the need for a new dump truck within the Parks and Cemetery Division. When I say new, this is not a brand new truck, it's a used truck. But we need it to haul dirt, gravel, things of that nature.
I have a motion by Barker,
Second.
second by Blind. Any questions and or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much. And with that, this Capital Improvements Committee stands adjourned, all committees stand adjourned, and the whole council will start at 7 p.m.